Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. For today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at a preview the Dragalia team gave us of the upcoming showcase that launches tomorrow. It's called an Enchanting Ensemble, and I think this is really cool. As far as I can tell, this is the first time the Dragalia devs have given us a sneak peek at what's going to be featured on an upcoming showcase. Now, the Halloween showcase was data mined, so in a way there was a sneak peek at that, but not intentional, of course. And this really helps as a content creator because the way events rotate out and banners rotate out in this game, they launch simultaneously. And that creates a crunch to try to get you the relevant information as fast as I can. So expect my showcase review tomorrow. I'm still going to go in depth with that because, as you'll see, not everything we need to know is going to be featured here. But I thought I would give you my first impressions since I know, despite some of my advice, a lot of people want to summon immediately once a showcase drops. So hopefully this will give you a little bit more information to work with, and I'm really curious to see what ends up being on the rest of this showcase as well. But here we go. Here is the featured 5-star adventurer, Lucretia. She is a light wand unit, and she has a max HP of 751 and a strength of 510. She's an attack type. So her details say, called the songstress of the century, her ethereal voice captures the heart of all who hear it. Her voice has earned her renown across the continent, but rumors whisper that she has an equal talent for the slaying of fiends. Cool. And I think that we'll see this theme of her being a songstress in her skills based on the names. So empowering triplet deals light damage to enemies directly ahead and increases the entire team's energy levels by 1 stage. When an adventurer's energy level reaches 5, they will become energized, and their next attack or recovery skill will be upgraded. Using any applicable skill resets that adventurer's energy level to 0. Very interesting. So it does deal light damage to enemies ahead. So right off the bat, at least this isn't a pure buff. I know that probably will mean it deals a little bit less damage when we look at the actual damage percentages, but getting energy levels up to 5 seems like it'll take quite a while. I would guess that you have to use this 5 times in a row. Let's take a look at her second skill, Crescendo Chorus. Increases the user's strength by 10% for 10 seconds, and increases their energy level by 2 stages. When an adventurer's energy level reaches level 5, they will become energized, and their next attack or recovery skill will be upgraded. Okay, it says the same thing. So it looks like Crescendo Chorus just works on her though, and Empowering Triplet works on the entire team. This is kind of interesting, but this seems like it would take quite a while in order to actually utilize, since you'd have to go through Empowering Triplet 5 times, and sure, you could use Crescendo Chorus to actually trigger this on Lucretia sooner, but for the rest of your team, it seems like it's going to be slower. Now, it may be that Lucretia's an attack type, so maybe enough just getting her energy level up to 5 and then continuing to use these skills, but we'll have to see. As a wand unit, she has this co-ability of seal damage. Energized, strength plus 20%. Increases strength by 20% for 15 seconds each time the user is energized. Whoa, okay, so anytime she activates either of her skills, she gets a 20% strength buff. You could probably have that buff up for the majority of the match. If you think about how quickly you can charge skills, I would have to do the math on this, and I probably will for my showcase review, but I would imagine that if you use your first skill, by 15 seconds, you might have your second skill ready or close to ready. Use that. Your first skill is going to have recharged quickly too, so you could probably effectively run at plus 20% strength most of the match. Curse res of 100%, so that suggests to me that the raid boss will inflict curse, and Broken Punisher of 30%. It's pretty nice. Overall, seems like a pretty powerful attack adventurer. Wand units, of course, seem to be fairly attack oriented for the most part, but yeah, I definitely want to know how quickly these charge and exactly how this works. Definitely think that it's going to be most relevant for Lucretia herself as opposed to the whole team. Next up, we have the featured dragon, and this is the one that everybody I've seen is going crazy about, Cupid. So Cupid is a 5-star light dragon, a dragon who supports all those who are in love. He is quite young and pure and wants nothing more than to spread love and happiness throughout the entire world. So here's the big thing with this dragon. Lovely pose. Restores HP to all teammates and increases their critical rate by 25% for 15 seconds. This is the first dragon we've gotten since Phoenix, who came out at the launch of the game, that actually recovers the HP of the entire team. That is a pretty big deal, and granted, Phoenix provides a regen effect, which means a lot of healing, but Cupid provides a critical rate up, and critical rate has a pretty big impact on damage. So this could actually be relevant. It's hard to say how good that healing will be, because if you look at the ability, this is actually a strength focused dragon, and Light doesn't have a 5-star strength focused dragon yet. It only has Jeanne d'Arc, who's focused on HP, but strength doesn't contribute as much to healing as HP does. I wonder how good this is going to be and who you want to run this on. Do you put this on Hildegard? I'm not sure. It is a great buff and a great extra heal to have, but I think she does like the extra HP in general from Jeanne d'Arc to make her normal heals heal more. So I'm not quite sure, but there's a good chance that this could be somewhat broken dragon. Healing is really good. These 60% strength dragons, and at base it'll be 40%. This is max unbound, but these are also really good. So I have a good feeling about Cupid just at a glance. Now we get to the Worm Prince, and the first one we have is Resounding Rendition. Beautiful artwork there. So skill damage plus 25%, and HP 70% equals critical rate plus 6%, as well as an HP of 177 and a strength of 64. So this is a good worm print. However, the main thing that holds me back on this is the existence of Plunder Pals. So sure, if you're able to max unbind this, it is going to provide a good bit more stats than a max unbound Plunder Pals. But if you already have that and you already spent your waters to level that up, it's going to take a long time to be able to max unbind this Resounding Rendition at the rate that we're able to unbind Gacha Worm Prints. So I just don't think this is better enough to really warrant trying to pull for. It is a good ability combination, but because of Plunder Pal's availability and ease of max unbinding, I just think that's going to be the best solution for most players. Now for Heavenly Holiday, we get something else that's quite interesting. So you can see there Hildegard and Sibella on the artwork. This is definitely more skewed toward HP, and actually far more skewed toward HP than any worm print at 5-star that we have now. So I believe all of the ones we have HP that goes into the 180s, and this gets to 195. But the abilities here are interesting. So the first ability is Curse Res of plus 60%, and the second is Light Curse Res plus 40%. If user is attuned to Light, reduces susceptibility to curses by 40%. So I don't know how to feel about this. So honestly, I'm a little bit down on this, and also I just think that second ability being limited to Light, I'm a little bit fearful of this direction, because right now worm prints are one of the most interchangeable pieces of gear that we have, and limiting this to Light kind of sets a precedent of getting a series or other worm prints like this that could be kind of disappointing to pull, to be honest, because the use case is even more narrow than a lot of worm prints which already have somewhat narrow uses. So on the positive, this would be great if you have a natural 3-star with Curse Res, because even without the Light attunement, it's still going to get their Curse Res up to 100%. And in particular, if you have somebody who's a healer, because of the high HP this provides. But I'm not a huge fan of this idea of design. I think that worm prints are best when they're modular and allow you to mix and match. That's my at-a-glance impression of this. And actually, that's the last thing that we have here. So notably, what's missing are the 4 stars and 3 stars, and those are often the big reason that you want to summon on a showcase or not, because those are the things you can realistically expect to pull if you've saved up some of your Wormite. So just at a glance, I think Lucretia is strong, but best for longer maps, so similar to someone like Naveed. And Cupid seems like the hit of this showcase potentially, but I'm still unsure. I would want to do the math on just how effective this heal will be when you get that strength buff as opposed to an HP buff. Other than that though, let's go up to the top again. This will last until December 11th, and there's no language here suggesting that this is event exclusive or time limited, or that these adventurers and dragons and worm prints won't be part of the normal summoning pool. So for that reason, because you can imagine on December 12th we're going to get a new showcase that probably lasts until right around Christmas time, I would think this might be a skip for people if you're hoping for that holiday showcase. We're gonna have to wait and see what the 4 stars are. But anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, tomorrow my full review will come out and I'll go into even more depth. Take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.